live on YouTube. We're gonna go live on YouTube, and there we go. All right, cool. Hopefully you guys had a great day today. Appreciate y'all for joining me. If you haven't already checked it out, a new reel just went up on IG. Funny as hell. Check it out. Leave a comment, share it, send it to a DM to a friend for them to check it out as well. It's definitely appreciated. And as always, make sure y'all come through to my, oh shit, that's not the wrong thing. My main streaming channel, which is on kick.com, djmoondawglive. If you don't see me on IG with a live, it's because I'm over at Kick. And it's for the grown folks. It gets crazy. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying to you. So come through, follow your boy, and join the chat over there. All right, Northeast Philly's in there. What's up, man? Gary, what's up, bro? All right, so look, we're gonna jump straight into the what we need to talk about for tonight. All right, let's pull it up. Let's take a look at this. So for those of you that don't know, and maybe put like a 1 in the chat if you know who Cenat is. He's easily the biggest streamer, American streamer in the world for sure. He's been doing his thing. I mean, it's been a crazy ascension for him and all that, right? So today, let me make sure we're recording this. So today, Kai goes back to NY where he's from. And he decides he wants to do a big, giveaway to give back to his supporters and his community. So the plan was to go and give back like PS5s and all that stuff, right? But he made a very bad mistake in all of this. It was great intentions with everything. But let me walk you through a timeline of what transpired here, okay? This is how it started. Fresh up out of the vehicle. All right. You're gonna already see there's a good amount of people here real quick, right? He's got a security walking him.
Yo, I can't have nobody bumping into my book bag this time because we serious.
All right, and now look how quick this starts to pick up. This is actually pretty crazy, and I don't think he understood just how popular and just how much attention this would gather for him. And it's crazy. Let me pause right here. At this point, he doesn't think to himself, you know what? This might not be the best idea. So they keep pushing forward, right? So at this point, it looks like the video ends up stopping. The camera guy, the video guy, the live streaming. This is part of his live stream right here. They cut it. Then it quickly turns into this, y'all. Look at this. This is in Union Square Park. Yo. Talk about 0 to 100 real quick. That's a couple hundred people, and then look at them. They just going crazy in the middle of Union Square, throwing stuff. It's essentially a mosh pit situation in there. There's a lot to break down in what we're going to talk about in all this, right? Let's continue with the videos on what happens here. Here, riots break out. And this is all happening in New York today. Let's take a look at this video. This is from helicopter footage.
Pushing and shoving.
So you can see the police here trying to disperse
Now we see police
and get things under control. And you've got people in the crowd, attacking them.
And looks like somebody else being taken into custody over there. People pushing and shoving.
It gets better. Well, not better, but then it gets crazier. And then here's the crazy thing too. More footage of, and clearly it's all teens. It's all teenagers. It's all teenagers out here going crazy. My man's is on top of a vehicle, getting sturdy. Everyone's cheering him on. You got cameras everywhere. Listen, I said there's so many things that are going on in this that need to be broken down. I'm gonna talk about what Kai did and the big mistake that he made, because he truthfully, if you're being objective about this, he made a terrible decision. This was a terrible judgment call, even though he had the best intentions, and I applaud him for what he wanted to do. But you can't just do this at his level. I'll talk about that more in a second. Since we're on this video right here, like you got these shorties right here kicking in the car, destroying property, And here's the crazy thing about, I'm just gonna call it like it is. Gen Z is kind of fucked. Gen Z is really fucked. Like, we live in an age where everything is on camera. The fact that they don't even realize that you think you're doing something popping, like you the man up here stomping on a car, you got about 100 phones, cell phones recording your face. You don't think these cops are gonna find you and bag you up for this? Like, there's no connection here with Gen Z with this whole idea of maybe it used to be like quiet as kept. You don't do something, you do it outside the purview of anybody else. You do your thing, whatever it is, you do your thing. But like everyone in the Gen Z, man, is crazy. Like, they don't understand this concept and they record everything, bro. Like, they really set themselves up for these L's because they're going to keep getting arrested. They're going to have all this evidence against them. And I think, to be fair, a lot of this is probably because of the disconnect from fathers not being in the home, older mentors, figures telling them like, hey, this is not how you're supposed to move because you're going to get yourself caught up. Right? It's the old saying, like, no face, no case. It's like they took that and just completely disregarded it and are not even, don't even care. So you got this whole generation coming up right now, young boys that are putting everything, and it's not just them, it's the entire Gen Z population that put everything in 4K. You setting yourself up so bad and they don't even realize it. So they think he thinks he's the man right now. My man just literally gonna catch the case. He gonna be in a juvie. You know what I'm saying? So you got all of this happening right now. And this is also happening in Chicago. We got these teen mobs that run through and do like these random hits in the city. The new mayor of Chicago's catching flack for that stuff. It's been going on since before him and all that stuff. It's just a thing. I don't even know what the reason for all of this is. You know what I'm saying? What's compelling them? Because I don't think we've ever seen anything to this degree where you have these massive mobs of teenagers just wilding out. You know what I'm saying? And like, it used to be, you would go out and protest and do all this stuff for some kind of a cause, war or this or some injustice. Yo, they just be out here just because it's a slow Tuesday and they just want to go out and fuck some stuff up. Here's another video. My man on the car, about 1 million phones on him, got his face. He looked like Tory Lanez. They really think they be doing something, not realizing you giving all of this right over to the cops. They pulling all this stuff off. They got you in 4K. They taking you and writing you up. You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna pay fines. You know what I'm saying? You might not go to jail perhaps, but you're gonna get hit with some stuff that's gonna be on your record. So we got more of this happening in New York today. Let's continue through how this all started, what was happening. And then we got another video from this whole Kai Cenat situation in New York. And then it just turns violent. Right? Now my man's just swinging. They just going crazy. They just going crazy. And it just becomes like it is like a beatdown. I don't know what's happening. But it descended into this. What started off with great intentions from Kai to go and go back to New York, where he's from, to go give back to the community and connect with his supporters, turned into this.
We're hearing estimates of thousands and thousands of people who showed up.
Now in this video, you've got Kai in the car. They're just trying to get the hell out of here at this point, right? They realize what happened. This is bad. They know it's bad, and it's become way too much for them to control. Now they're in the vehicle here to the right, trying to take off. You can clearly see there's a whole lot of people on the car, riding with them, like on the car. I mean, look at it.
Stefan, I don't want to interrupt you.
You know, it looks like.
One quick second right now, because you're looking at live pictures.
Let's see if this zooms back out here.
Covered with people, and we do believe that that was the vehicle that had Kai Cenat in it, which you can see now looked as though could have been leaving the area.
And then we get there we go. We got the vehicle again right there. I mean, just look how mobbed it is. It's insane.
Chase after.
It's insane.
That's the vehicle right.
I mean, you see stuff like this with like the Beyoncés, the Michael Jacksons of the world. It says a lot to the level of stardom Kai has with that audience. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that is his core demos, like the Gen Zers. And to see them coming out, like it says a lot about how he's managed to connect and all that, but it's also a sign of like, you can't move the way you want to move anymore. You know, that now becomes null and void. We'll talk about that more in a second. So they're trying to peel off here.
In right now, as Safan was saying, he was there.
You got all these people on the car. It looks like when the SWAT vehicles pull up and, you know, they got the SWAT officers hanging off the sides in the back. I mean, that's what it looks like at this point.
Was in the crowd for a little bit of time, but clearly this was an out of control crowd, and so
now they're speeding up.
No giveaway whatsoever, getting in the car, but
so they're speeding up. You can tell they're picking up speed.
Now driving pretty fast.
And they got people on it. This is so bad. This is so bad. They're peeling off, trying to get away from the crowds. I don't know if they don't realize. They have to know that guys are on the back because they're blocking the back window. I don't know if they know people are on the hood. This is legitimately crazy and probably enough evidence to use against Kai or his driver, whoever, because he put people's lives at risk for this, even though he can't control that they were on them or on the car.
To the side and top of it.
And then
it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling why they're not stopping to let these people off the car.
Yeah, this is bad. Boom, one kid falls off.
And then there just someone fell off. Okay.
I mean, right? He narrowly kind of escapes. And then it kind of starts to end like this. Here's Kai getting hemmed up by the police. Now it's really contentious here. You can see Kai, I don't know who he's talking to, but you got police all around him. It looks like they're trying to take him. The guy right behind Kai is probably one of his security. And look at the kind of altercation that's happening here. So his security's like, I got him, which, you know, security's supposed to do that. They're paid to, you know, do personal protection services and all that stuff. And you never leave the principal. By the way, the principal is the term referred to the person under your protection. You're not supposed to. So I understand where he's coming from on this, but then you've got the police being like, nah, we got him. It kind of escalates. It gets real tense. Now that's a cop hit the security guard in the chest. Like, no, I got him. So now there's an altercation because security is like, no, this is my guy. Police are like, no, we're just gonna take him. This is a crazy, crazy situation. So police basically took Kai. Whether they arrested him, I think I've seen stuff saying that he wasn't arrested, but they took him for his own protection. We have another video here, which this is actually funny. If you don't know, Kai's a small guy. I don't know if he's like 5'3" or something like that. Maybe 5'4". I don't know, but he's small. But just watch what they do to him right here. They just carried him like a little baby into safety. That's actually pretty funny. And then the last clip right here is we'll take a look and we'll see here that police are escorting him to who knows where. You can see Kai, you know, I don't know, just kind of going with it. Seems partially confused or overwhelmed by what's happening right now. But you can see that NYPD is taking him to remove him from the situation in hopes that it will get the crowd to disperse and all that stuff. So let's talk about what I wanted to talk about here is essentially how Kai made a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake here. And this should be something that any person that gets into a level of celebrity has to be aware of, that you will, if you go high enough in your celebrity, there's always a point where then you have to change your entire life. You're to a certain extent, your life is no longer yours. And that's the trade-off that comes with fame and celebrity. You know, we've seen it with all the major celebrities out there, right? Whether it's Kanye or Beyonce or insert whatever A-list superstar artist, they have to move very differently. You just can't move how you want to move. You got to do things a certain way, and you sacrifice a good portion of your life and your freedoms for that, right? That's just how it is, right? The reality is that Kai this is probably the wake up call for Kai to let him know that you are at that level. Even though you're a streamer, you're a content creator, he has such a large audience, large young audience, Gen Z audience that look up to him the same way that an 80s or 90s hip hop head might look up to Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of a thing. They look up to him big time. And this is the wake up call. It should be a wake up call for him to let him know, like, you can't move like this anymore. If you're gonna want to give back events to connect with your community and your fans and all that stuff, you have to set it up in a, you have to set it up in coordination with police, with security, get permits. You just can't do it as a pop-up anymore. He's too big for these pop-ups, because look what's happened now. We don't know what's going to happen out of this. There's a couple of ways that this could play out, and I kind of want to play the scenarios out here. First of all, one of the things that's going to happen here is that they can fully charge them for something. It's the police, right? It doesn't take much for them to come up with something that they can say, like, yep, we're going to make this stick. I think off the top of my mind, the thing that I've been seeing talked about that makes the most sense is that, they can slap them with disturbing the peace, or even inciting a riot, something to that effect, if there's enough evidence they can gather about this. We saw the clip of their vehicle trying to get away. We saw that there were people on top, people fell off of the vehicle. Who's to say that one of these kids that fell off is not going to file a civil suit and, you put my life in danger because you were speeding off? There's the potential for that to be a criminal charge because, reckless endangerment, perhaps. I'm just spitballing some things that come to mind. So there's always the chance now that they could press some kind of charges as a way to teach them a lesson, to set a precedent there, that they don't want this to be a thing. They don't want other influencers to just try and do this. You show up in Union Park, it's a big public space. There were also issues now because of this. There was a person in one of those stands on the street that was assaulted. There was property damage to private businesses. This really turned into something bigger, which people are going to want accountability for. So now that I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if Kai gets charged with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the, let's say, like, the optimistic side of this, perhaps maybe they don't, because the argument can be made, hey, listen, we came here with the best intentions. We had no clue it would turn into this. And they can certainly argue that, hey, we're not responsible for their actions. We didn't incite anything. Typically when you get like inciting a riot thing, typically that is charged on someone that is actively trying to agitate the people in the crowd, right? You're on the bullhorn, fight back, you're trying to say inflammatory things to get people to react and get that going, right? The mob mentality. It's a real thing. He can make the argument, his lawyer can make the argument. He never did any of that. He just showed up, he tried to do something good, and then the mob of people just descended into its own shitstorm. And I think that's a valid argument that they can make. So it's going to be interesting to see what New York decides to do here. If I'm a betting man, I think they try and pull some charges out just because it's a shitty state, and with all that stuff, they're probably going to try to do something to that effect. And this needs to be a wake-up call for Kai. You can't move like this, bro. You're too big. You're too big to move in these streets freely like that. And I get it. When you're someone that comes from the hood and the streets, you always want that feeling like I can move anywhere and I'm good. I'm like that in Chicago. I can move any part of the city. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's not because I'm some big tough guy. It's because I just know I know people, and I also know how to just talk and just, you got to, when you show respect, you get respect. It allows you to move around. You know what I mean? When you show love and you show respect to people, he can't do that anymore. And this is going to be something it's going to be a blemish on him. There's also talks about what this could mean for him on Twitch. Twitch be banning people for anything. Well, they ban people for like frivolous stuff, but then people that get blowjobs on stream or got their cheeks out, they're fine. That's how Twitch works, right? But there's also discussion that this could, the way the media is talking about Kai, it's the first thing that's out of their mouths as they're reporting on this is Twitch streamer Kai. So this is now reflecting on the platform. There may be repercussions coming off from Twitch. They have been known to take action against their streamers for off-platform things. This certainly is a big deal that's made national news now. He is one of their biggest streamers, so if they ban him, it's going to be a huge money loss too. So now there's that issue for them. So this whole situation is really interesting to see how each side decides to play this and what decisions are made to penalize Kai for this, if they do at all. So we'll have to kind of stay tuned. We'll be following this, but I thought this was a really interesting case study on when you get to a certain level of celebrity, your life is no longer yours. You got to change how you move. You got to do things super different, and you have to do things to isolate yourself from potential risk and exposure to being held liable for some kind of a suit, allegations. And here's the thing. This ain't the first time Kai's had this lapse of judgment, man. Now that I think about it, earlier this year, there was the allegation that came from some girl that, for those of you that have been following his whole story and everything, there was an allegation from a young lady that said that a guy at his party, sexually assaulted her and all this stuff, and he was tied into this. She didn't accuse him of doing anything foul, just the guy that was there, but it was at his amp house where his crew are at, and he got wrapped up into it. So he gotta, and here's the thing, he gotta have better people around him to guide him through this stuff, man. And even if he says, no, I want to do it, he gotta have people around him that ain't yes men. They'd be like, nah, bro, like, you're not gonna do this because this can expose you to all kinds of bad things. Now, the one gleaming sliver of good that may come out of this, and I use that word very loosely, is that we all know that there is no such thing as bad PR. There's good PR and there's just bad PR, but it's all good PR, because essentially what happens is this just elevated his name to the nation. He is now out of the streamer gamer space, influencer. Now he's transcended that even more into the general public. Your grandma just watched the news report. Oh, grandson, I saw the boy, the streamer, Mr. Kai, and you're like, oh yeah, grandma, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. He's now managed to get to that level. So while this may look bad, he may have to deal with it, this may end up actually benefiting him anymore. We've seen it with rappers when they go to jail, right? They go to jail. Gucci Man, remember when Gucci got locked up? Gucci got locked up for a while. When he got out of jail, Gucci went crazy. Right? I can go down the list of rappers that have done this. They get locked up, they sit down, they sit in timeout for a little while, and then they come out and they boost them even more. We see it with other streamers and content creators that get banned off a platform. Once their ban is removed or whatever, they come back and they got substantially more viewers. Shit, I should just go do something crazy, get banned, come back, and then it'd be like getting more people. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. But my point is that there could be, I suspect that's also going to happen here too. So it's a really interesting case study that was worth talking about, and something to keep an eye on to see how this all plays out. But to be completely honest, just a bad decision on Kai's part and his team's part for allowing him to do this. For them to not think that the whole city, all the teams wouldn't come out to this when it's a Friday in the middle of summer, when they don't got no school and they got nothing else to do. Of course they're gonna pull up. What were y'all thinking about? You messed up on this one. You got to hold the L. I'm just keeping it a buck. Hopefully, lessons learned, and going forward, he can do this a bit differently so that he's more protected, the public is protected, and that he doesn't get hummed up into some situation like this, because this is a crazy one for sure. He is going to pay a lot of fines. He's going to pay some fines. Maybe they give him some community service. I think one of the best things he could do is, if they gather up what the damages were and just pay for the damages, because there were businesses that were, again, he's not directly responsible for the behavior of the mob and the people, but it was all predicated on him popping up. He made it publicly known he's going to be here for this meet and greet. Without him, it doesn't happen. So he is, I believe, going to be held accountable, and he may have to just pay a lot of money. He got bread, and it's still going to hurt to pay a lot of money. He's going to have to pay a couple $100K probably, but I think at this point he needs to probably do the right thing and that maybe that helps to brush over any kind of criminal charges. Like, hey, look, you know, if he has a good lawyer, which I'm sure he does, they'll probably be like, look, we'll take care of all the damages. We'll whatever. Let's just not go into any kind of criminal charges here, whatever, ever. And maybe they give him some kind of a thing where like, hey, you know, maybe you're banned from here, or if you ever do this again, we'll throw the book at you, kind of a thing. Who knows? But a crazy day in New York with Kai, man. And just to look on his face on this freeze frame right here, he just looks so confused. He just looks so confused, man. What's up, Rem? It was insane. Lilith, what's up? What's up, big? Just like the Paul brothers. Well said. Yeah, they've done stuff like that too. What do you guys think about this? Smitty, what's up? Surprised nobody in this group didn't tell him it was badly set up. The thing is, okay, and I forgot to mention this, it wasn't just Kai. He had Phantom, he had Duke, he had most of the AMP members with him as well. There was actually a clip, and I don't have it, of the police actually handcuffed Duke Dennis. You know, you can see his hands behind his back, and they were escorting him away in cuffs. And none of the footage we saw with Kai did they arrest him, which leads me to believe that they were just trying to remove him from the situation here. I don't think they had any reason to legally arrest someone, right? Like, he didn't do anything perhaps, but he is a celebrity, and so they would need to just escort him to remove him from the situation, which is vastly different from Duke Dennis, who they had him in cuffs. So who knows what happened there? You know, maybe they say something, they get some kind of a, totally speculating, don't know. But I did see the clip of him in handcuffs being taken away, which to me says something else happened there. You know, they don't do that unless they're detaining you or arresting you for something, you know, to get put in cuffs. Really, really crazy. He just realized he got picked up like a baby on camera. Yeah, he did. I think it was a YouTube video. Wait, what do you mean? Halston, you're gonna have to watch it back, bro. We just covered it. Probably get a city fine, no charges. Perhaps, but I guess we'll have to see. Again, I think the argument there is that, you know, he didn't necessarily incite any violence, of course, but because of what he did, you know, it opened up the door for all of this to happen. Stop. All right, so there's that. We had to talk about that. That was a crazy one. All right, y'all, welcome back to another edition of The Button, the most cringe speed dating show on YouTube. It's such a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know what brings me back to it, because it's hard to watch, and yet there's something so gratifying about watching these different people try to date and reject each other in the most weirdest of ways. So this one says, "I'm not attracted to you." The Button. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Knows Becky's gonna throw him some pussy. That's all. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. He knew that Becky was gonna throw that punani, and he just let it ride, man. God damn it. Hey, we just gonna Netflix and chill and be in your guts. This episode wasn't as bad as some of the previous ones, you know what I'm saying? But like, we know what it is. We know what it is. He's gonna be all up in them guts, and then he's gonna go to some other country and leave her alone. All right, let's take a look. We had a new episode from The Desirable Truth, the brutal differences between men and women. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina for this episode. So let's find out what we got here. All right, let's take a look at okay, we'll talk. Let's take a look at the new episode from The Desirable Truth.
It's true that a man pays for sex in one way or another?
I think everyone pays for sex in one way or another.
How would a man pay for it as opposed to a woman?
Wait, I'm trying to think of in what ways does a woman pay for sex? What do you guys think? Let me know.
I think women pay for it in time.
In time.
And like time, preparation, expectations. You have to go out on the date to get some, regardless.
Or you could just tell him to come over to your crib.
Yeah.
Oh, that is fair. That is true.
Yeah. Yo, most guys, ladies, you could literally be in your bonnet with a bathrobe on, not even a sexy bathrobe. I'm talking about the big cotton thick ones like your grandma would wear. And you can just send a text saying, "Hey, what you doing? Come over, big head." And a guy would come over and smash you looking dead ass like your grandma. Yeah, like it's not that difficult, man. You know what I'm saying?
But I will say, most men don't like that. At least the ones that
What up, Brian?
encountered, you can say like, oh yeah, just keep it honest and upfront with me. That's not always how people want it, you know?
So if you told one of these, hold on. Come here.
By the way, guys, make sure you come watch all of this live on my Kick channel, kick.com djmoondawglive, with the rest of the chat and everything. Come through, follow your boy, okay?
Honest question, right? Here, face the camera, don't block her. So honest question. If she said to you right now, do you want to come over and get some? Would you do it?
You say yes, bro. Don't stop. He gonna smash. Stop.
Yes, sir. I'm in there. I'm in there.
Okay. It's not a turn off if she just says, "Hey, come over."
I mean, I'm a question it a little bit. I got it, cause I got to. I gotta feel out where what it's about. But if I feel the vibe and I feel the ride, I gotta hop in that whip and get the dip. You feel me?
No. If he said to you as he is now, "Hey, come over,"
She ain't gone.
would you?
No. No.
Can I get a 360? No.
I'm chilling for real.
And why is it?
Almost spit my goddamn water out again. Yeah, I almost spit my damn water out.
that?
I don't love men who wear their pants below their waistline. So that's number
These are
one.
stacked jeans.
That's under, yeah.
How old are you?
25.
25.
At 25, what's dating like?
Unfortunately, don't do it. It's scary out there.
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like love bombing is a big thing. I don't know. I have a kid, so my last relationship obviously hasn't been great, but I don't know.
It be these people, I'm gonna say men and women, that I don't knows. If you say, what turns you on? I don't know. What are you looking for? Just a vibe, I don't know. Or you ask them, what's your goal in a relationship? Well, someone to be with. I don't know. The I don't know people are the worst. I think when you look at all this dating stuff and you look at when people complain the most about, oh, it's so bad out here. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. I think most of these people are comprised of the I don't know motherfuckers. They don't know shit about anything, and yet they're the most vocal about how it's shitty out here. It's terrible. Like you're part of the reason it's terrible. You don't even know like what you want, what you're looking for. You can't articulate any of this stuff. You should be able to ask. Like I should be able to ask any one of y'all watching right now, what attracts you? What are you looking for? What characteristics do you want in a partner? You should be able to spot, boom, 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 spit it out and articulate it. And if you don't, then you are fucking up. And you shouldn't even be in the dating pool if you don't even know the answers to these questions. These are very core questions and things you should have in place to know to guide you in the dating process. And so many people are like her, clueless. She's fucking clueless.
Do you think having a kid has hurt your chances of finding a partner?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because last person that he told me he wanted a relationship, but
they don't know, because if you know, you can articulate that when someone asks you the question. It's not like it automatically leaves your brain when someone asks you the question, Rican. Like she literally doesn't know anything. She just, I'm just here. Fucking robot AI. Malfunction.
like a few months in, he was like, just kidding. Like I'm not mature enough to be with a woman that has a kid.
And how old was he?
26.
Do you feel like he was mature enough?
I thought, I don't know, but I wasn't asking him to like raise my child.
Well,
I
what?
just wanted him to date me, not my child.
Well, what were your expectations in the long term if he was dating you?
I don't know. I think we got I don't know coming. Let's find out.
I mean, obviously, eventually you'd meet my daughter, but again, she has a dad. Her dad is.
Don't disappoint me. Come on.
We raise her, not him.
Really? Shit.
But if you moved in, wouldn't you want him to? But if you moved in together, wouldn't he have to be more involved?
I mean, yes, but also, doesn't everybody want their own kids? What is it to be there? I mean, if someone really loved me, they wouldn't mind. So.
How old are you guys?
23.
Lord.
21.
How long you been together?
21.
10 weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks.
Down to the exact date.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
How long have you known each other?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
When did you make it official?
Haven't had a discussion yet.
Is it open or?
She's got a very cute smile, by the way. He bagged himself a little cute. She's cute in the face.
Are y'all just talking?
I wouldn't say it's open.
Realistically, he can do what he wants, but my attention's on him and not on anyone else.
Yo, if he don't bag her after what she just said right there, he's a fucking idiot. He is an idiot if he doesn't bag her. That says a lot. The fact that she's like, nah, you know what? Even though he can do whatever, I'm just focused. Yeah, bro, that if you ever find a like, she's potentially could be a unicorn, y'all. That is major to say something like that. That says a lot.
Okay, that's how I am.
So at this point, how would you feel if he slept with another chick?
I'd be bitter. But I wouldn't show it to him. Because he can do whatever, technically. I just don't want him to. Thank you.
So you'd still like give him another shot? You'd still continue along with him?
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you feel if she slept with another guy?
Yeah. Keep it a buck.
I'd be kind of pissed.
Would you stick it out with her
No.
and then make it official?
No, he lying. Don't lie, bro. Don't lie.
She's cheating on you, boy. I wouldn't completely forget about it. No, I'd talk to her. I'd talk to her.
Why do you feel like you could tolerate that?
Not that I'm tolerate it. I mean, we're not official. We're not necessarily. We've only known each other for 10 weeks. But I don't know. That's it.
He's gonna fumble her so hard. I can already see it, y'all. He's gonna fumble her so hard. And she looks like she's a sweet girl. She just from a couple of her answers, she got her head on right and how she looks at, this situation. And he's gonna fumble her so hard. I wish we could follow up with this couple.
Who pays for the dates?
Sometimes he does for the most part. He definitely carries. I do pay from time to time.
She's my sugar mama sometimes.
Sometimes he's my sugar daddy. Sometimes I'm the sugar mama. We both have jobs, good pay.
We treat each other.
We basically,
right? How we look at it, and I don't want to speak for her, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. How we look at it is, we're not counting the dollars, the dimes, the nickels.
Right.
I'll get a date, she'll get a date. I'll get a date, she'll get a date.
Yeah.
We know it comes around. We're looking future. We're looking long term.
No, I know you said you're not counting.
Hey, that's a fucking dub couple right there. Yep, that's good. I like that. That's good.
But realistically, who spent more money between the two?
What's my thoughts on that? I think, listen, I've said it before, my thing, whatever works for individual couples, that's what I'm all for, right? I know the red pillars is like, yo, a man got to carry it all and the woman got to, do all this. If that's what the two people want to do and they can afford to do that, do it. If it's more of a 50-50, do that, or whatever. Or in the case if it's a woman that carries it, because there are women out here that may make more money than their man and they're carrying the finances. If it works for the two, then it works. I think that's my thought on it. Like, whatever works for y'all two. And the thing is like, if I'm in a relationship with woman A, and let's say it's me taking care of everything, she's just chilling. If I get in a relationship with a woman B, because of the dynamic personalities, it could be a 50-50. Because I think when you go from person to person, depending on how you are and how they are, that dynamic always may change from couple to couple, perhaps. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, I'm in favor of like whatever works for the two people, and y'all happy, do it. I don't, you know, I've done the full provider thing. You know, when my daughter's mother, I took care of everything. I really good radio career. I was good. You know what I'm saying? And I took care of her stuff. You know what I'm saying? She had to work. She took care of our daughter for the first few years without going to daycare. She was just at home and doing all that stuff. And it, you know, like it was benefits to it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations kind of like them where I've been with someone and it's like, I'll do something. And then, she'd surprise me like, no, don't worry. I got dinner. Don't trip. I'm like, oh shit, for real? It was a gesture. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing crazy. You know what I mean? So I've experienced both. And I think that depending on who you're with and the dynamic, I think that should dictate it.
Two of you.
He does.
I want a sugar mama, but I'm white and pack 5 inches. You better eat pussy good. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
He does, for sure. Yeah.
If I'm taking care of everything, I'll quit my job to see if she comes through. Yo, you would do that and then be out of a job and everything else.
Now, if roles were reversed, would you still be in a relationship with this man?
If I was paying more than him?
Yeah, if the roles were reversed.
I feel like I wouldn't not. If he came into a financial situation that he couldn't pay anymore, that's fine now because I know him. But maybe starting off, if he was like, no, you. If it from the start he wasn't paying for stuff, I feel like I would. Maybe. Okay.
Yo, he said he caught you. She got caught in 4K. You see how that shit quick, bro. They don't want to pay for a man at all. It's one thing, like, what she was trying to say, if he fell in tough times, he got laid off, I got it, don't trip. Yeah, but like not long-term, not a long-term situation she won't have to pay for him. Isn't that funny how that shit works? It's so funny.
I don't know. Just because I don't know. He asked me out on the date, so I was expecting him to pay. So if he didn't pay for the date, I would kind of be like, what the fuck? But now that I know him, no, it wouldn't matter.
Do you think a man should open up emotionally to his girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you?
If you want it to last forever, like in a healthy, normal marriage, yeah.
So in a healthy marriage relationship, it should be totally fine for that man to burst out in tears.
It would be weird if he didn't.
Yeah.
It would be weird if he didn't burst out in tears in his wife's arms.
Like, you should be completely open with whoever you're with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Every problem he has, he should confide in her.
Like, why would he hide anything?
Do you think you'd be able to handle that amount of stress, though, on top of what you're already dealing with?
Yes, he should. If he really loved you, he should be able to tell you anything.
So have you ever been with a guy who opened up to you emotionally?
We don't have to go that far, but...
So the answer is no?
I don't know, but anyways, we gotta
Wait,
get going.
can we get your TikTok so we can find the video?
Yeah.
And we have to go.
Yeah, pull it up. The answer is no. Do you think it's true that a man pays for sex in one way or another?
Fuck yes.
Pays for it. Well, what about a woman?
Whoa.
Here we go. I already tell she's about to say some dumb shit. Let's find out.
What about her?
Do you feel like she pays for sex in one way or another?
Not the same way a man does.
How come?
That's a good answer.
It's completely different.
Why?
A man spends a lot more monetarily wise than a woman ever has to.
Not computing. Not computing. Not computing.
Stop.
Look, malfunction. Like a fucking NPC streamer on TikTok.
I feel like that's false.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like you're thinking very
logical.
1900, early 1900s.
So in the relationship between you and your man, who spent more money?
I don't know. I feel like we do it equally. Like if he pays for a couple meals, I feel like I pay for a couple meals, and I feel like that's fair. At least that's my outlook on it. I don't know how other people outlook on it. I mean, I'm sure some people, maybe the man is the quote unquote head of household, provides for the woman, but I don't feel like that. Bye-bye.
How old are you?
27.
27.
At 27, has dating gotten easier for you?
No, it's gotten harder.
Definitely harder.
Why is that?
I think
Regan said, oh God, Regan, why you just set yourself up? Regan said it takes a lot of money to look good. Hair, nails, makeup, clothes. But women do that regardless if there's a guy in the picture. So it doesn't even count. Y'all are not going, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all go out and still do all of that. That's just part of like typically, right? A woman's upkeep. It's just naturally women are going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even, you can, I don't think you could ever, anyone could ever make the argument that that is an associated cost with dating. You would, women inherently do that regardless. You know what I'm saying? They do more for the guy though. You're just messing with me. Stop trolling because you're about to trigger me with that. No, we do premium grade stuff when a man is in the photo. Like what? You're not doing you're doing the same shit to your hair. You're doing your nails the same way. Come on, stop the listen, y'all.
Stop the cap.
Ladies, you gotta stop. Don't get me triggered on a Friday night. I got good vibes. Y'all about to send me with this whole, but we gotta do our hair and our makeup. You do it anyway. Y'all are waxing your pussy anyway because you want, you know what I'm saying? Just you're doing it regardless if a guy's in the picture or not.
I think it's because honestly our generation like doesn't want to commit. But like I also don't know if I want to commit. So you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's like just kind of living their lives, and now like having kids, like that's more in like your mid-30s. Like I don't know.
So why are you afraid to commit right now?
I don't want to get cheated on. I don't want to end up with the wrong person. I don't want to be in like a bad relationship. Like I just feel like a lot of people I've known that have committed young, like are in bad relationships. And like,
I mean, you're literally pushing 30.
Yeah, the way you said that was so disrespectful.
but like 30 is young.
You don't think you're gonna hit your wall then?
No. I mean, like I don't have a timeline in my life. Like honestly.
Okay.
That's the best way to live. That's the best way to live.
Whatever happens, happens.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no
like
timeline.
if I don't have kids eventually, like I wasn't meant to have kids. Like I'm just saying that. Like.
But do you want to have kids though?
I mean, like maybe, but like if I don't find the right person to have kids with, then like why would I want to do that?
What's the most you're willing to spend on a first date?
As much as I need to show a girl that she's the only girl that I'm talking to at the time being.
Would you be willing to spend $1,000 on a first date?
Fucking if I had $1,000, mate, I fucking wish I did. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're all fucking hard-working boys. So, you know, we got to do what we can to try to make do with what we got and hope that the bird we're with accepts us for who we are.
But you think that a chick would be willing to drop $1,000 on you?
Depending on the chick. Because I've had a girl drop close to $1,000 on me before.
What was she doing?
She was in medical sales.
And where'd she take you?
To a really expensive restaurant and a really expensive car, to some really expensive drinks after, and what's going on, guys? And yeah, it was just a really expensive night that I knew I couldn't have afforded if it was me in charge of the bill.
That didn't.
And she basically paid that to slut him out. Let's keep it a buck. That's what that was.
Make you feel like less of a man when she paid for everything?
It tapped my pride a bit, but at the end of the day, if that's something that makes her happy and makes her feel like she's worthwhile, then I don't want to take that away from her.
You think a relationship could still function if a man is making less?
Absolutely. Women love to be empowered. Women are strong. They're desirable. They're fucking passionate creatures. And as much as we want to sit here and act like we're the fucking big dog, every single one of us would bend over backwards for whatever bird that we think is worth it.
What's the farthest you're willing to travel to get some?
Oh, not far.
That's actually a good question. That's actually a good question. Wait, let me ask you guys in chat right now. How long in minutes and or hours are you willing to travel to get some? Because it's funny that like here in Chicago, I've known people that like they wouldn't want to drive 45 minutes to get some. Oh my God, it's so far away. 45-minute drive. I'm like, what? 45 minutes is far. That's like a quick, that's half of a podcast you can listen to on your way up before you smash some. You know what I'm saying? 1 hour max. I literally pay nowadays. They want equality. I want to be pampered. Stupid. Yo. 1 hour? Okay. 45 minutes is nothing when there's no construction and traffic. True. But let's be real. You're not traveling at rush hour. You're going to travel after 10 p.m. You're traveling in thought hours. You know what I mean? So there's very little traffic on the E-way or streets. You know what I'm saying? The rides ain't even going to take as long. The only thing for me personally that I would be like, I ain't going to travel is in the wintertime because I hate the cold. And then I'm like, man, is the punani good enough for me to make me want to drive in the snow? I'm like, man, I'm good. It's not even that it's not good punani. You just be like, I don't want to deal with the snow and driving in the snow. That's my thing.
Or, you know what? They can come to me. If I'm getting flued out, wherever. But if I'm driving, I don't know.
She's openly acknowledged that she get flued out.
I'm not traveling. You're coming to me, if anything.
Me personally, I don't travel much. People just come to me.
Okay, but
How far has someone traveled to get some with me?
Sure.
I've had some overseas.
You've had people travel from overseas just to get in them guts.
Yeah.
To get some, I'd say, gas is pretty expensive. I'd say maybe 50 miles. But then again, if the women were willing to do the same, I'd probably go a little bit further, maybe 75, maybe 100.
What's the farthest I travel for sex? Probably 2 blocks down. Come on, brothers. Come on, kings. You're worth more than that. You shouldn't be just traveling for coochie. It's all around you. It could be right next door. You just gotta have that right mindset for it. Be real with yourself and believe in yourself and have some self-respect. Coochie ain't worth the travel. Travel for some better meanings in life. Travel for yourself and what you got going on in life. Travel for your dreams.
So you wouldn't drive 2 hours to go get some?
I would drive 2 blocks down, if that. That coochie better be fucking water, nigga. On my mama, nigga. That coochie better be goddamn Splash, Dasani.
And how old are you?
I'm old enough to get some coochie. 18 years old and younger, do not be out here getting coochie. Y'all do y'all thing. All right, brother.
He was so confused. He was trolling. He was trolling so hard. He looked like he got irritated towards the end of that one. All right. Let's take a look here at It's Complicated. Got a new video up. Economically Socialist, Romantically Capitalist is the title for this one. Let's see what this is about.
Is it true that most women say they want a man to protect and provide?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say yes.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah, 100%. You want to feel comfortable with your lover. You want to make sure that they can protect you.
What if I told you the idea of men protecting and providing is a social construct reinforced by the patriarchy?
It's probably true.
I definitely see that standpoint, but I also think it goes back into our primitive instincts, right? Like hunters and gatherers. So the more dainty, not as muscular build people, which typically are women, were the gatherers and stayed at home, and the men went out and they hunted. So I think that's kind of how that whole social construct began. It's kind of in our DNA. It's almost primitive.
If patriarchy is bad, why do women still expect that from men?
Is patriarchy bad, or are feminists just telling us it's bad?
I don't believe the patriarchy is a thing. I believe the matriarchy is a thing. We live in a Western world where women are the biggest voting bloc. Women are the biggest spending bloc. Women have a majority of the debt, and women raise the next generation. That is the exact definition of what a matriarchy would be.
Oh, shit. Yo, motherfucker got based on that one. Actually pretty valid, huh? In current times anyway. Not in the past, but.
It's a tough question because I personally am against the patriarchy, but then there's also some social constructs of relationship roles that I'm okay, yeah, I actually do value that traditional kind of standpoint.
Why do women only complain about patriarchy when they are competing with men?
I would never compete with a man.
Because women can't have it all. Even though they say that they can have it all, they cannot have it all.
Why is it when it comes to the job market, we must be inclusive, but in the dating market, it's purely competition?
Because it's the hottest survive.
I feel like there definitely is a lot of double standards in both roles. I feel like it just depends on the relationship per se, because I feel like I have met some men that aren't as masculine or, you know, protecting as others. So I feel like it really just depends on the person as well, but I understand where you're coming from.
There's always talk about creating a more fair and equitable society. What determines in life what should be a competition and what should have equal outcomes?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Equal outcome is laughable. That is not a thing that is possible and achievable, and everything is competition. Everything. Equity is for children and participation trophies, not grown-ass adults.
Why do women want equality in everything except for dating?
I wish I knew, but what's wrong with us?
Oh, they don't even want equality in everything but dating. They're not even close. They don't want to pick up the garbage on the side of the road. They don't want to go die in the draft. They don't want to pay for bills. They don't want to lift heavy stuff. They don't want to squish spiders. They don't want to be treated equal for pay when they have to work as many hours, work as late in life, miss as much family functions for their job. And also, if women stopped and left the workplace, the HR department would disappear.
Yeah, this one. Hey, he got to be the most base guy I've seen on this street interview show. Yo, he just went off, y'all. He just went off. The whole HR department being gone is fucking hilarious. Oh my God. And then the squishing spiders too. Yeah. That's hilarious. What's up, Digma?
Do women give all men an equal shot, or do they prefer to choose the best and most qualified?
We prefer to choose the richest.
The same way a man would choose which girl he wants to go after.
Yeah, that's true. And it's mostly by looks. It's definitely not anything else.
Do women give all men an equal shot, or do they prefer to choose the best and most qualified?
No, the majority of women do not give all men equal shots. Unfortunately, you do have those simple-minded women or those gold diggers that want to reach for the upper echelon. My thing is, instead of chase the bag, help your mate to get the bag.
So why are women
That's pretty based.
economically socialist but romantically capitalist?
I think because they're looking for that catch, that big fish. That's someone that can pay the bills and mortgage and supply them and wine and them and dine them. Not all women, but a majority. If you don't have it, they're not going to talk to you.
Why is it when it comes to the job market, we must be inclusive, but in the dating market, it's purely competition?
Because I think you still want to find the best person for you, and...
Doesn't a boss want to find the best employee for his company?
Yeah, and he should.
But they're forced to hire people they don't necessarily want to hire.
Well, and that's not right. I don't necessarily think that you should hire somebody just because they fill a box that of equality. I think you should still be finding the best person for the job.
Since dating is considered a marketplace, how high would women's standards have to be, and how much competition would there have to be before men are willing to decide it's no longer worth it?
Well, I feel like the follow-up question would that to be, do women compete with women more, or do men compete with men more?
Women compete with each other for the top 10, 12, 8% of men. The average man that's working the Taco Bell counter, that's working the grocery store register, that's driving the bus, he can no longer get an average woman. Women want that top 10, that top tier, that top echelon man. They want that 8, 9, 10 man, even though they're an adjustable 6 at best.
God damn, this guy is cooking. God damn, he's cooking. There was a video I put up on my other channel, The Mind of MoonDawg, which was so great. I should probably react to my own video where the guy breaks down in this chart. I'll play it afterwards. You guys can see it. It's a really good video on how he broke down this paradigm that we're in now that speaks exactly to what this guy, the base guy, is talking about here.
What do you think about the men who choose to remain bachelors?
It's funny because I probably have that mindset this day and age. I just turned 44 today. Today is my birthday. But when I was in my early 20s, I thought about marriage and settling down. But now it's like the bachelor life is better. You know, people out here getting married and getting divorced a couple months later. So until you find true love and happiness, there's nothing wrong with being a bachelor.
You know, they might wake up one day at 50 and be completely happy. they might wake up at 50 and be like, I don't have any kids, like I'm missing something, and I know that's something you have to figure out through your life.
I want to say, or they've gone through it before, they've been married, got divorced, and they're like, you know what, I'd rather live the bachelor life.
Yeah.
And enjoy my life, you know?
If you've got a little black book of 3, 4, 5, 6 women that you can call, take care of everything you need on that Friday. Maybe you have one that dresses up nice and comes to the company picnic with you. Maybe you've got one that's just down and dirty and shows up in a high heels and a trench coat. Why would you give that up for marriage when you're going to get divorced? She's going to take the kids. She's going to take your money, and she's going to destroy you. There is no net benefit today for men to get married.
Yo, I've been talking about that. I think more men should not get married, man. I really do. It's mostly because of the laws. That's the bulk of my argument. Is like the laws are set up to fuck the guy over. Never mind what a woman may do, though, like whatever. But the laws are inherently set up to dick over the men, and I just think that I would love to see. I know ladies probably hate me saying this, but I'm just keeping it a buck, right? I think more men. I think men should go on a fucking marriage strike. I would love to see a movement of men across the country that are like, we're not getting married. Hold the fucking marriages hostage until legislation is changed so that you're not getting hit in the same ways that you are right now on the books with these laws. You get no access to your kids. You inherently lose all this stuff. It's the craziest shit. It's not even fair. I mean, I'm all for being a divorce being fair, but these things are not even fair. And there's been too many stories I've covered of men that lose everything, and because they lose everything, they end up taking their lives because they have nothing left. They're struggling. It's such a big hit to everything, and that's terrible. Like, a divorce shouldn't lead a man into thinking about offing himself because he's lost everything, children, his assets. He's struggling. He's just like, you know what? It's just better to give my life insurance to my kids at this point. That is really sad. You know what I mean? So maybe we could start it here, guys. Stop and don't marry. We need to start this movement.
If sex wasn't a need, wouldn't men boycott these women rather than be forced to simp for them?
Yes, but sex is a need, and it will always be a need, so...
Oh, we got an update. They charged Cenat with 2 counts of inciting a riot and unlawful assembly. How do they get 2 counts? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they add 2? Wouldn't it just be 1? It's one big thing? And unlawful assembly, I can believe that. The 2 counts of inciting a riot, I think they can fight that one in court. I think his lawyers will fight that. It's why Bill Gates is still with his wife, because she's been there since day one with him when they had nothing. It's true. Unless you have a rock solid prenup, and even then judges can try and throw those out. Yeah, those prenups don't even, they help, but some states, they don't even matter. Like, I think California, it doesn't even matter. Some of these states are just wired to it just trumps whatever you decided in a prenup.
Why do the majority of young women happen to be left-leaning woke liberals?
Because it benefits them to be that way. Conservatism is about personal responsibility and decision making, and women culturally avoid responsibility like it's kryptonite. Any excuse to pass the blame off onto anybody else.
What?
That's what they do. Women, they just don't want to be accountable. They just want to be victims of the big bad man, of the big bad culture, and they just want to avoid personal responsibility.
This guy is on fire with these takes. I actually just saw a study that came out that showed a breakdown by gender of politics, who leans on what side, and women all lean, all liberal, while young men tend to lean conservative. It's actually a pretty interesting study that just popped out, and the graph was going viral on Twitter. People were dialoguing about it as to what explains this phenomena that the majority of women, young women, all lean liberal, and the majority of not young boys, but young men lean conservative.
Women of today have been kind of seeing in the news what the government is doing to women, and they disagree with that. And so I think we are considered woke liberals because we're like, we disagree with a lot of what the conservative party wants
If I had a podcast, I'd have this guy as a guest. Yeah, I actually want to find the guy. Someone go find who that is. We gotta have him on the stream.
to do to women, like take away rights, and they want to kind of contain us and treat us like we're lesser than, and we don't want things taken away from us. It's
How is liberal women wanting handouts from the government different than conservative women wanting men to take care of them?
A fair exchange. Conservative women want men to take care of them because it's a mutually beneficial, independent relationship where they make a mutual agreement to meet each other's needs, wants, and desires, whereas those women just living off the tax dollars, there's no mutually beneficial relationship. They're leeching, they're sucking off the tit of the taxpayer, and oftentimes not giving back anywhere near close to the resources they absorb.
Wow.
If men choose to no longer marry, does that mean these women will look to the government to support them instead?
I don't know. I guess that's a question you'd have to ask them, I suppose, on who they're going to want to be their sugar daddy, if it's going to be Uncle Sam when they don't have... I don't think people will ever stop getting married, though.
Eventually, the money's going to dry up. It's going to dry up. You can't give every unmarried old cat lady money. There's just not enough money anymore. The government's been taking money with overtaxation, compelled parental responsibility from men as long as they have. And once men stop marrying, stop having children out of wedlock, and if they just pay their child support, all these women, when they turn 40, 45, 50, as much as they say now they'll be happy, they're not going to be happy with no family, no husband, no children, and 4 or 5 cats running around.
Are women by nature more socialist because they want to be provided for?
Yes. Women want everything they can get, every handout, because it's easier and it's what they're used to. I mean, let's be honest, fellas, if we were a 16-year-old woman and we spent 5, 6, 7 years with people giving us everything we wanted just simply for existing, that would be a hard behavior to break. Be a real hard behavior to break. That's why when the wall comes, 30, 32, 33, somewhere in that, these women are panicking because they've never had to be responsible, never had to earn really anything. It's been just given to them simply because they're pretty and they look nice, and men will do anything to get the attention of a pretty woman.
Are they more socialist because women are more collective, hive-minded?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, you have to stick together. I mean, I guess if you feel like you're being held down, then you've got to band together with the other people who are in your corner.
Women will lie to each other in protection of the group, in protection of the subset. Women will lie. You will say Lizzo is a 10 when Lizzo is not a 10. You will lie and say, go girl, you got that. You should divorce that man when you know you shouldn't. Women will lie to protect each other, to promote each other, to tear each other down, because it's all about feelings above facts.
What's the difference between feminist women shaming men for being masculine versus traditional women shaming men for not being masculine enough?
A traditional feminist doesn't shame a man for being masculine. They shame men for having toxic masculinity, which is going, yeah, I have to do this and I have to do that because I'm a man, and you can't do this because you're a woman. That's toxic masculinity. Being comfortable in your masculinity is going, yeah, I'm a man and maybe I work out, but I work out because I want to be healthy, or I do like looking really jacked, but it's for me. It's not because I have to because I'm a man, And
I think feminist, left-leaning, liberal women do it to tear men down and to talk about how men ain't shit, even though men tamed the world, created all the luxuries that everybody enjoys, and will keep the infrastructure running. Women want to act like men ain't shit. Those leftist liberal women do. I think the more conservative women, they're doing it kind of as a cross between they don't know how to do it the right way, but almost with the intent to help motivate a man because they don't know a better way.
Can you define minimalism?
Yeah, so my kitchen is minimalistic, and that means there's basically nothing in my kitchen.
Minimalism is just having enough to meet all your basic needs and very, very few wants.
I'm actually a big proponent of minimalism, y'all. It's actually a great way to live. You really realize that you don't need a lot to live life, right? Think about people have like these extensive closets full of wardrobe and clothes and this and that. You really realize you don't. And when you accumulate all that stuff, it actually begins to weigh you down. You have all this stuff, especially for those people that are messy as fuck, that don't organize and clean. You got stuff, you know, imagine I could never live with someone that is a slob. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's the prettiest women that be the worst. The fucking apartment looks like a shambles and shit. Like, what the fuck are you? How do you live like this? That's crazy to me. Big proponent. There's a great documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's still up there, called Minimalism. You should definitely watch it and learn to get into it. And you really allows you to move about freely with less stuff clinging onto you. Because the more stuff you accumulate, that's more stuff that's just clinging onto you that you got to take care of. You got to organize. You just have more freedom when you have less stuff, to be 100% honest.
You don't need a 4-bedroom house. You want it. You don't need the newest, fanciest iPhone. You want it. You don't need that giant SUV. You want it. The reality isn't today you need a cell phone. The reality is almost everybody needs a car. But we go bigger, better because we want, because it's a competition to have the newest, biggest, baddest, best. Also because it flexes and shows to women
Status.
what we got.
Yeah, status.
Can a man be a minimalist and still be attractive to most modern women?
If he's minimalistic in the sense that it should be, like thinking of the environment and thinking of the impact, and do I really need this?
Oh
and
my
am I
God.
going to sell this at, you know, like, am I paying quality or am I buying shit and then having to replace it?
Most, no. Very, very, very few women are going to like a man that doesn't have drip, that doesn't have a nice fancy car. Women aren't going to like a guy that lives under the bridge. They're not going to like a guy that rents a room in a basement. They're not going to like a guy that drives a car from 1984 with 250,000 miles on it and eats a foot-long Subway sandwich for dinner every night before playing Madden.
Yo, you know what that reminds me of? Because I definitely fall into the minimalism stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it reminds me of this meme I saw, right? Let me paint the picture for you. You might have seen something to this effect, same kind of a concept, right? But it was a picture of, you saw the ground, right? It was like the ground, and there was like a guy, and you saw like the leaves from a carrot above ground, right? Like sprouted out. And there were two different sizes. The one of the carrot leaves that were coming out of the ground was very small, and the other one was really, really, really big, right? But and in the picture, when you look below the ground level, right, and you look at the actual carrots, the carrot that had the little leaves was the big fat one, like real big. And the one, the carrot that had all the leaves that was really, really big and looked huge, it was a little bitty ass carrot. It really stood out to me, speaking to the idea that, like, would you want someone that on the outside, keeping up their appearances, has, you know, looks to have all of these, the clothes, the drip, the car, the condo, the this, that, and the other, and at the expense that, like, they don't really have much on the back end, right? They don't have a lot of savings. They have no investments. They don't have a plan for the future and all this stuff. Or would you rather have someone that a little bit more simpler, maybe a little bit more frugal, and yet on the back end, they got all kinds of things set up for investments, retirements, has a plan, buying a property, and doing all this stuff. A lot of wealthy people actually, you know, like actually wealthy. Don't think they're like rappers and celebrities, right? But like wealthy people like Zuckerberg and all these types. They generally, they're not, clearly you can tell they're not like fashion people. They wear jeans and t-shirts. Think about Steve Jobs and all this stuff. Like, these people are very plain Jane on the outside, but it's about what they got on their back end. And I think that's where this kind of made me think about all of this, which is, you know, which one do you want? Do you want the one that has all the things visually up front, or do you want someone that has more on the back end, you know?
How large is the carbon footprint of keeping most modern Western women happy?
It's basically comparable to Bigfoot's paw print.
27 pairs of shoes, the biggest car, all the nice purses, the makeup, the hair, the nails, the hair products. It's absurd.
Are we talking like mainstream women or like me? Because you might assume by my perception that I am a materialistic woman, yet I was a farmer of an organic USDA certified farm for a year, and a hemp farmer for 2 years, and a CBD processor for 2 years.
Why do you rarely see women call out other women for being materialistic?
Maybe women are less judgy.
I feel like I see that all the time. Like, everyone talks shit about the Kardashians.
Because all women are materialistic.
Since dating is considered a marketplace, how high would women's standards have to be, and how much competition would there have to be before men are willing to decide it's no longer worth it?
For it to no longer be worth it to date a woman?
I don't think that will ever happen because men love women way too much.
Speaking from a man point of view, I'm gonna say it's always worth it. Like,
why?
Because to me anyway, that's my only option is a woman. So it's like I'm gonna do what I need to do to keep one around. You know what I'm saying?
The standards would have to get ridiculously high for them to turn away from women entirely. But I do think if they got that high, you know, yeah, there is a possibility of it because, you know, nature will always find a way. I mean, look at prison populations where men become gay when they can't get access to women. Like, your sex drive is your sex drive. You're going to find an outlet one way or another.
You know, on that last point, I agree with what this guy said about, listen, if you're a straight man, you're a straight man, you're going to want a woman. I think at best, men may kind of withhold certain things. Like I said earlier, I think more men, it should become more of a movement for men to hold marriage hostage. Don't give it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, no longer offer that shit at all. Because there will never be a day in society where women begin to take the lead and start to ask a man's hand in marriage. And because of that, men still hold the leverage, right? If a woman wants to have be married and have the benefits of a marriage and have someone to support and take care of things, it's got to go through the guy. That'll never change. And if more guys withhold it and stop giving marriages, that'd be interesting. It's an interesting concept. What would happen? You know, then women will be like, all right, well, we're going to hold the pussy hostage. Like, it could get like real nuclear option like situation in the country. You know what I'm saying? It can get really interesting to see how that can play out. That happens more often than you think. Yeah. What's up, Kay? Just because you were a farmer doesn't mean you're not materialistic. That's true too. So there's that, and then I've been saving this. I want to dedicate a stream to the conversation. Do I want to talk about it now? I'll just briefly say this. I also think, hold on to your balls, fellas. Ready for this one? I also think more men should be getting vasectomies. I won't dive into it today. I'll dive into that next week. We'll do a dedicated stream about that. We're gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up the information to support my reasoning for why more men should have vasectomies and all that stuff. But we'll get it. Well, it's too crazy for a conversation for Friday. But yeah, there's that. All right. So no marriage and getting snipped. Yep. I think so. All right, let's see where we're at with it. That would be interesting. I just think that I think men at large are not getting a fair shake in the dating / marriage space, and it's getting to the point where they're gonna need to do something. They're gonna have to do something in as a movement to be like, yo, this shit gotta change. Again, most men have an issue with marriage when it comes to the legalities of it. You know what I'm saying? I think most men want to be with a woman, you know what I mean, and have a home and a family, but legally there's no, you are setting yourself up for an L. And I think any woman can realistically, if you're being honest with yourself, could understand that and see that, like, yo, guys get down bad, you know, in these divorces and so on and so forth. So I think men need to do something to get legislation changed on that issue. I think more men should be getting vasectomies. So, you know, again, you know, there's a lot to take in with that. Too many people in this world. It's not even that. Here, I'll just say this briefly, because again, I'm going to deep dive into the vasectomy for men thing. And I'm speaking as someone that I've had that done. Best decision of my life. But I wish I would have done it long time ago, y'all. This is why I'm saying guys should really think about that as an option. The thing about it is, right now, women have far too much power and say in what happens. In marriages and divorces, they get the benefit because of the laws. When it comes to whether or not you're going to be a father, it's solely on them. They have the sole say on whether or not that child is coming to term, to life. And you know, for men, if you don't want to be in that situation, then more men need to take a bigger step in accountability, so that you can control that situation from ever happening. That's what it comes down to. Remove the onus on who's responsible and who decides whether or not a child is coming, from the woman to yourself. That's what I'm saying. More men should have vasectomies. What's up, Bobby? Shout out from Tampa. They don't get fair shit, but that's where you work on getting laws changed. Yeah, but I don't think the law, you know, it would take an act of God to change these laws. The government inherently benefits from men in these divorces and stuff like that, and child support. Again, maybe next week we'll do a whole stream on, I'll pull up videos on as to why the government's like, why states keep pushing the child support thing. They benefit. Essentially, the federal government, what's the word? Not stipend. They get federal funding. You know what I'm saying? So there's incentive for the states to throw men on child support, because then they get federal money back for it, you know. Need to get snipped, no whoopsies. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's why I don't believe in marriage. It's both confirmation, both the man and woman, not just one or the other. Yeah. Yep. And pray the law doesn't change 50 years later to like Roe v. Wade. Well, I don't know. I don't like to speak on the Roe v. Wade thing because it doesn't inherently affect me as a man. So I try not to speak too much on that shit, to be honest with you. That's more of like a woman business thing. You know, it just, what it did do is it just took it from the federal level and it put the power back on the states. And so the states have that power now to decide. So, you know, that's what it ended up doing. It's not like it wiped it out so it can't be done anywhere in the country. It's a bit of, obviously it's clearly more work if you're in the state that doesn't allow it. You got to travel to get it done. But I also think then that this should be a factor in people thinking about how do I approach sex? Should I be raw dogging, letting anybody fucking bust in my guts type shit? Or maybe being more fucking responsible, use condoms. There's that part too that doesn't get talked about. You know, it'd be a lot of people that use abortions as they use it as frequently as a condom, if that makes sense. Like it's used to just like, oh, okay, yep, never mind, we're just gonna get rid of this and refresh. That's kind of a wild concept. Instead of like, you could have just used a condom, birth control before. It's like you literally get all the way to a pregnancy and then you want to go. And again, my mindset is like, you choose. I don't have a horse in that race. You know what I'm saying? I'm of the mindset that a woman should choose, I guess, choice, whatever she wants to do with it. But it also doesn't mean that I'm like, yo, it's kind of crazy that you would not do any of the prior steps to prevent this. And sure, there are instances where condom breaks and you get it, or maybe birth control failed. That would be an exception. But I'm talking about specifically like the majority of people that are just wilding out here, randomly fucking everyone and letting people bust inside of them freely. Like, and then they like, all right, yeah, we're just gonna get a termination done. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. What's up, Nathan? Oh, we could talk about this for a minute. I'm sure. Moment in time they go in, but that's just it. Maybe now people start to really think about how they approach having sex, because if you're in a state where you can't just freely go get, you know, that taken care of, you're gonna have to, you gotta be more cautious, man. I think it's a net benefit if people are more, if more people vetted their sexual partners and took the right steps to protect themselves versus being so free out here and constantly getting knocked up, reoccurring, you know, that's just kind of wild, bro. That's super wild. Okay, now you're making the female mishap. But here's the reality of it. If women have the final say in whether a child is brought into the world or not, then they have that full responsibility too. I know you said dudes don't be wanting to pull out. Okay, sure. But why are you letting them fuck you raw in the first place then? You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to make it make sense. That like, you got to be accountable for this shit. If it was the other way around and men were the ones that were the final decision-making person to say whether or not a child comes in, I'd say the same thing about guys. Like, why are you just dumping it in her, you know, whatever, or, you know what I'm saying? If it was flipped around. But because women are the sole person that decides whether or not you're going to have that child. Any guy, all he can ever say is like, I don't want to be a father. I would like prefer if we do this, or I prefer if we have a child. But that's all he could do is make a suggestion. It's only on the woman. But that's why I said more men should get a vasectomy. So then you eliminate that. You take back the power so that never even comes into a situation, because it can't work. It don't happen. Then you can go bust nuts inside of whoever and you're good. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Cole. And that's my point. Why are they fucking wrong? Exactly. I mean that we got to be honest about it. Like, people out here wilding with sex. Like, you know, I used to call myself the pull-out king. You know, I'd be pulling out. I mastered the pull-out. You know what I'm saying? Mastered that shit. Some people just be like, whatever, just let it all in there. Like, what are you doing? Zombie, what's up, bro? I appreciate that. Welcome, man. What's up, swag? Government gets a cut of all child support and alimony. Yeah, it's something like that. We'll dive into video. Enigma said it takes two to tango. Yes, it takes two to make it happen. But after that, there's only one person out of the two that then makes the final decision. That's where it changes. It's not like they both have a say after the fact. We know this. Because what if you're the one, what if you're the woman and you're like, I want to have the child, and then the guy's pressing you to not have it? How does that go? That's not a good situation. And ultimately, woman's going to decide what she wants to do regardless of what the guy wants to do. Okay, so when it's non-consensual, yes. I knew that was going to come up. But guys, like the non-consensual stuff, I know they always in these arguments bring up the whole incest things. That is the percentage of that is actually comprising of all of these pregnancies is fucking tiny, literally tiny. It's a few percentage points. In the grand scheme of all the numbers, it's very, very small and relegated to like, and in those cases, I completely agree. There should be free options. No woman should have to go through that. And then if they don't choose, if they don't want, like, again, I'm very much like whatever everyone wants to do. I'm just merely saying about the accountability and responsibility angle of it. You know what I'm saying? Men don't have a say in that. Don't want to talk about this while I'm 17 weeks pregnant. I mean, it should be fine. You're in a good, you're with someone. Like, this shouldn't even impact you, man. You're good. You got a man, you're together, you're happy. At this point, I would say he should be able to sign rights away through, though morally it's messed up. I'm a proponent. Here's the thing, because I'm of the mindset that as a man, if you get a woman pregnant, and even if you don't want it and she decides to have the child, I'm all about you step the fuck up and you be a father. And I will say this till the day I die. More men, if you're in that situation, you were playing around, step up and be a fucking father. Because we see now what's happened when men have kids and they don't be there to raise them. And then these kids turn out to be fucking wild or just off the cuff. You know what I mean? We need more fathers in the homes, or at the very least to be a father in their child's life. If you're not under the same roof, you know, things didn't work out, that's fine. You know, that's where I'll hold men accountable. And I say, yo, you motherfuckers need to do better. Y'all out here busting nuts in a chick, and then she gets pregnant and she says she's gonna have the child. You know what? You better fucking be there now. Like that's that. And I don't respect I wouldn't even say you're a man. I don't respect no males that do that shit, because you're really fucking it up. When we talk about why there's this big simp culture, because guess what? When a lot of these motherfuckers weren't in the home helping to raise their sons, and they grew up with a lot of femininity around them, and they weren't taught core elements of like being a man, growing into a man, and then they grow up and they have no fucking swag, raised no confidence, and they become a fucking loser that now has to pay for pussy through OnlyFans, and they simp on every chick. Where do you think that comes from? So I hold guys accountable all day, because we created the simp problem from all the men, well, all the males that had kids that never were involved in, or boys, you know, that were never involved in their life, and they were raised by their mother and all the women in the household. And so I go in on the fellas too, 100%. 100%. Like, you want to be a man, you got to be a father. That to me is a core tenet among other characteristics and qualities. You got to fucking be there for your kid. Not just a paycheck father either. I'm talking about like be there at events, at important times and dates. Not even just the important things. Be there on the weekday and do things, engage, instill morals and ethics in your child. Like, you got to do all these things, man. I don't respect. That's one thing I'll say about all the men in my family. Even if things didn't work out, even for me, things didn't work out with my kid's mom and shit like that, I've managed to be involved in my kid's life, and she's going in high school. She's a wonderful fucking kid. You know what I mean? A wonderful kid. I'm blessed. All the guys in my family, my cousin, he's got a large family and stuff like that. He's got a couple different baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? But he's a great father. I respect the shit out of him. He's like a little brother to me. I respect, because all the men in my family, no matter what, my brother-in-law, who married my cousin, they hooked up. He was like, when he was young, he's like a year younger than me or whatever. He was in the streets, he gangbanging, like really in this shit in Chicago. Met my cousin, and at first my uncle and them, they didn't really like fuck with him. He knocked her up. They were young. I don't know when she get knocked up. Late teens. It had to be the late teens she got knocked up, I think. And everyone was like real skeptical. But when I tell you, this man is one of the greatest men that I know, and that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great fucking father to my nieces and nephews and shit like that. Like, that's who you surround. You got to keep the kind of people around you that you want to be like, fellas. You know, surround yourself. I was thinking about this earlier. What a lot of men are lacking right now is mentorship. A lot of men are lacking mentorship from a man that they can look up to and aspire to be like, yo, he's a man's man. Like, he has the qualities of a man that I want to exhibit, that I want to grow into, that I want to emulate and be like. Strong, confident, resourceful, a leader, decisive. I can go on and on. You just gotta surround yourself with these kinds of people to if you want to be like that. And I certainly think there's a big shortage out there. You know, if you were to talk to, let me ask you guys. I know there's guys here now. If you're under 30. In the stream right now, and don't be shy, be honest, keep it a buck. We like fam, we close, right? If you're under 30 and a guy that's watching right now on the stream, put a 1 in the chat if you don't have a male mentor or male role model, a father in your life. Like, how many of you have just been living life trying to figure it out without some other male older than you to really go to help out, to learn from, to pick up things from, as far as being a man and growing into your manhood? I'm really curious. Keep it a buck. I don't know how many people are going to admit that, but I'm willing to believe that it's a lot more than we would ever think. Yes, snip it if you don't want any kids. Oh, I did. That was a gift to myself last year. It's now been like a year and a half I've had it done. Basically, stop messing up other people, bro. That middle Easter rap name video. Oh yeah, that's a good one, bro. Basically, stop messing it up for other people doing it right by hurting others. Yeah, exactly, Enigma. What's up, V? You had a drink and don't feel too well. So Enigma said that. We got a couple other people that got a 1. I appreciate the honesty, man. And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I've been very passionate about in these last couple of months, which is I keep seeing these studies, man. It really breaks my heart when I see these studies about young men under 30. So many of them are lonely, are being virgins because they can't even find women. Women aren't even looking at them. You know, there's so many young men that just have been left alone. You know what I mean? They haven't had their fathers in their life or real positive male role figures in their life for them to learn from and to grow from. I'll tell you, man, I was like that for most of my childhood. It wasn't until I went to the Marine Corps and in my time there that I met the men that helped make me into the man that I am, because I learned from them. I met some great fucking men. You know what I'm saying? Men I would fucking die for type shit. You know what I mean? Brothers. That's the thing that I think a lot of young men now are missing, is the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the positive male role figures that will instill these things in them. That's how we really learn, man. We learn through these learned behaviors. And if you're not around it enough, you just don't get it. You don't get those traits. You don't get those intangibles. And that's something I've been trying to think about, like how what can I do in that realm to help, I hate to use the word coach, but like just to positively impact, you know, young men's lives, so they can navigate the world. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why Tate is so big. I hope you guys know that. Tate is so big because he's been that figure for a lot of young guys. You know what I mean? Whether you love him or you hate him, I will tell you that as a fact, why he's resonated so much with young men is because he's been filling that void for a lot of young men. You know what I mean? Are there things that he said that's off the cuff? Sure. But I think there's other things he said that is super, super good about, you know, as far as being a man. Work on yourself. Get in the fucking gym. That helps to build you up. You build your confidence. There's a lot of positives in you staying physically healthy and physically fit. It's an attractive factor for women. Keeps your mind clear and sharp. Getting into some kind of activity or sport, something where you can work on like these social things, whether it's like taking a karate or some kind of martial arts where you learn discipline and control, self-control. So many other areas that you can get into and do all this stuff. You know what I mean? For me, the military taught me a lot about character. Character was so much. It's a driving factor for me. You know what I'm saying? I won't sell myself out to look. I just won't sell myself out for some shit. Like I have, and this is a core tenet to me of a man, is having self-respect to the point where like there's certain things I just won't do. You know what I mean? Now, me entertaining on a stream or my time in radio and all this stuff, yeah, like there's things you do to entertain in the entertainment realm, but like there's things that like in my personal life, I won't fold, bro. I won't fold on that shit. I won't sacrifice my integrity. I won't sacrifice my dignity. And it's crazy when I go online and I see the young homies out here wilding out, making themselves like a fucking fool for clout, for followers. And it's like, bro, you're already lost. You're already losing the game of being a man when you do that shit. It really be levels to this shit. You know what I mean? 28, about to be 29 soon. You getting there, bro. You about to hit that 30. Yeah, we're in the family. There are not a lot of male figures. Like my family's mostly women, barely any men. Yeah, there's two. That's a lot. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's so imagining a young boy being raised, surrounded in a home full of women. It's not that there's inherently anything wrong in that. It's just that there's no male influence there. And so the young boy grows up under the pretenses of like womanhood and how women do that. And it doesn't always benefit. It doesn't fully benefit. A boy needs the father, the male figure, to help them through their journey as a man. It's so different. You know what I mean? So and that's what gets me mad when I see men that don't take care of their kids. Like you are contributing. You're contributing to the very nature of why we have shitty men that y'all talk about too. Just as much as I saw this quote that stuck with me, and it said that single moms are raising the very men that they hate when they date today. So it's like both sides are fucking this whole thing up. You know what I mean? I don't agree with everything he says, but I can respect that he speaks his mind, and I can behind the self-improvement ideas. His view on women, not so much. Yeah, and I think that's a fair assessment. I think that I pretty much agree with that. I think his self-improvement things, when he talks about guys, what we should be doing, I think that's great. And I think that's a lot of what resonates. When he starts talking about the relationship dynamics, the problem with what he says about relationships, I don't think that it's inherently wrong. But what I think the problem is with Tate when he talks about relationship dynamics with a woman, it's that he's at a different level that the vast majority of the guys that follow him will never be at that level to even warrant the things he's talking about. Does that make sense? He's at a level, income, status where he can fully provide for women, where he has the leverage in a relationship, right? Most of these guys ain't never gonna have that. And so the problem is they're adapting his ideology, trying to apply it to a situation that should be a 50-50, but you're trying to act like you're not 50-50, bro. Like you're setting yourself up for an L. And then they start getting this inflated idea. That's where I think that becomes problematic. You know what I'm saying? Or they try to raise them, their boys like the men they date. None of them are good for. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of like what it is. Yep. Yep. Yo, Nuki, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You know, I had a father in the house, military father, very, very strict, and the two brothers were lacking his presence. Right there for them. Sport events, father, son, you name it. It had affected them. They're all, thank goodness, good friends. Yeah, I mean, that's sad, Monica, and he's gonna live with that regret. That's one area I would never want to live with regret in. And even then, I've been around. I still have areas where I felt like I could have been better. You know, where kind of eats at me when I think about it. If I think about it, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Christian? Men don't run away from their children. They're running from the chick that provoked. It's sad. Women rule the world. You know what, Die? I don't know. I probably screwed up your name. Here's the thing. We gotta keep it a buck. It's not always that the woman's running away. Do some women run the man away? Yes. And in those cases, then those guys get a pass, because we all know that sometimes a woman can be vindictive and just outright mean and hold the kids hostage from a father. There should be something in the law that prevents women from doing that shit. I mean, that is terrible that they use the children for pawns. In those cases, those guys kind of get a pass. But I'm just talking about the guys that flat out knock a bitch up and then just ghost. Like that's just not even cool in any way. So, you know, if it's a man that wants to be involved but can't because the mother's preventing it, that's a problem. And then those are the shitty moms. Like, again, I'm the type, man, I'm gonna call a buck a buck. You know, spade a spade. You know what I mean? No, the kids don't have to suffer because of her. Well, they shouldn't suffer, but again, in a lot of places, when the mother gets the benefit in family courts for rights and stuff like that, and you know, it makes it difficult for a man to be involved if she's, you know, constantly making claims or being vindictive or not bringing the kids to you over the weekend when it, you know, when it was decided in the courts. They still do shit like that. You know, they might get a little slap on the wrist, but then you're still having to go to court and pay all that money to see your kids. That's the wildest concept to me, that I have to pay money to see my kids. You know what I mean? And another thing too, many people hear a opposing view to bash someone for, and I'll listen, take it, and try to understand. Yeah, I agree on that too. That helps a man when the father recognizes they failed, because a man look up to the dad and it affects them the rest of their life. Yes, very much so. Very much so. Caesar said, just ice the mom. You troll. You can't just do that. Idiots. What up, Caesar? It can happen on both ends. Either the mom drives the men away or the men will run away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very objective in this, y'all. We know, right? I think we're all here level-headed, know that both sides can fuck this up. We know that it could be a vindictive woman, and we also know that on the other side, it could be a guy that's just ghosts and never is involved in the jump. Both of which are equally shitty and terrible. It's not one or the other. It's both sides do this shit to each other that create these fucked up situations. You know, and the hope would be that before we even got to that point, that people need to be wiser about who they are having sex with and how they are having sex. You know what I mean? You know, I understand birth control for women can be very complicated. You know, women have different reactions to it, messes with their body, messes with their moods and mental stuff and all that stuff. So not every woman can be on a actual birth control, and that's okay if that's the case. Then, but why not? Why aren't you using a condom? You know what I mean? Like why are you not using a condom? You know, Okay, the condom broke, but that happens such a small amount of percentage of times. You know what I'm saying? By and large, people are just outright just fucking raw and busting inside. That's the truth. I just had a daughter. It literally scares me. My chick can wake up someday and decide to take her away from me. It's crazy women have that kind of leverage. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been talking about. The best thing you can do, man. The best thing you can do. This might sound crazy, but hear me out. The best thing a man can do if you're not married, if you're not married to the woman, this is the only thing you really want to do. Go and put yourself on child support now before the mother does it. It is, any good lawyer will fucking tell you this shit. To go and get child support, put it on yourself before the mother goes and tries to do it, especially if you guys split down the road, because then it becomes a bigger deal. If you just put even if you're together now with each other, just go and do it. Just go and submit it all and just give her the money. Because when you put yourself on child support, you get to dictate how that whole process goes before she goes and files for it, and then it turns into a big fucking thing. Talk to a lawyer. Any decent child family lawyer will probably tell you the same thing. It's what they told me. And very reputable people too. System here set up to help the moms go after their dad and collect percentage. Yeah, we talked about that. I think next week we'll watch a video on the breakdown of how dirty the child support with the government is and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it is crazy. Something with your dick and punani, because that shit can lead you in trouble. True. Best thing to do is busting that nut in their eye. What the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro? What's up, Campbell? All right. I really didn't expect the Friday night conversation to go into this shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like to think of Freaky Fridays, but it kind of just turned into what it is right now, just based off what we were watching. And it happens. It's all good. Then put it in your mouth. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Put what in my mouth? Too much Biggie. Am I wrong though, Moon? Listen, bro. Listen, more guys. Listen, a lot of y'all just be busting nuts and shorties just on a whim. I don't understand that part. I don't understand how y'all just be busting nuts without even trying to attempt to pull out. Walk me through the process and why y'all think you just bust a nut in the chick. And she's not even your main bitch either. How? Bro, y'all just be setting stuff up. Pull out game weak. It's a lot of weak ass pull out game. Weak. Here, all right, I'm gonna give y'all some fucking sex game, man, fellas. If you really want to work on your pull-out game, here's what you need to do. All right, you need to start masturbating, getting yourself to that point, essentially edging. You need to edge yourself and keep doing that until you build up the ability to hold it back. It takes time. You think I'm joking? I'm being dead ass. You really need to start edging yourself up more if you want to be able to hold back from that premature bust. You got to build up that tolerance, that ability to be like, it's getting there. I'm good. I'm out. You know what I mean? You got to do it. Got to do it. Don't numb it. What the fuck? Edging help me. Yeah, I'm telling y'all. I'm being serious. You gotta edge. You gotta edge that thing. You gotta learn the limits of your dick. I'm not even joking right now, fellas. This is real. This is, by the way, Instagram. Don't take me down, guys. If you're on Instagram, because of the topics we're gonna start talking about right now, Instagram be watching my streams. They'll take it down. So make sure you come over and just watch on Kick, bro. It's a better quality. There's an app in the App Store, Android and iOS, and it's KICK. I pinned it down in the comments on the IG. Come fuck with your boy over on Kick. It's the main platform. We do the after hours crazy lit streams over there. It's unfiltered. If you think this is kind of crazy, now again, it gets way ratcheter. Come follow, boy. Come follow. That being said, you gotta build up those tolerances so that you just don't cave up in the pussy. You're like, oh shit, it got me. You know what I mean? Get yourself a condom, period. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Get a condom. Listen, at this point, get a condom or get a vasectomy. That's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it comes down to. Here's what I would say. The way to do this, though, is if you're young and you haven't had a child yet, then just use condoms. But once you have a child, and let's say you have however many you wanted, and you know you're good, once you know you're good, cut that shit. Cut it. You know what I mean? If you got the amount of kids that you want, if it's 2 kids, if it's 3 kids, if you got 5 already, get your shit cut once you know you're good. Even if you end it with that chick and you go on to another chick, oh well. I mean, do you really want to start over anyway? Some of y'all are crazy. I can't believe some of these guys be having kids in their 20s and then have another round of kids in their 40s and then another round of kids in their 60s. It's fucking weirdest shit ever, man. I don't understand those guys. Y'all literally doing a disservice to your kids because you're gonna be old and dead by the time they even get to like adulthood. I do either. Condoms are raw, whatever she prefers. Yeah, I mean, as long as she's cool with it, of course. We gotta have children. Our population is decreasing. China's going to take us over. Seriously, no, that is true though. So Japan is by far leading the world in terms of death rates, outpacing birth rates. U.S. we're trending that way, and there's a bigger movement with Gen Z women, right? Younger millennial women, like on the very cusp, and then all the Gen Z women. Not all, but like it's mostly in the Gen Z population of women, like young women in their 20s or whatever. But more and more Gen Z women are becoming part of the no child movement. They're deciding that I don't want to ever have a kid. I just want to live my best life. I want to travel. I want to just do what I want to do. I want to have my career, and it's growing. And while I'm 100% all for whatever a woman wants to do, you want to have a kid, you don't want to have a kid, God bless. It's your choice. Don't bother me. But when we look at this in the context of society, this is problematic. Because if we have large swaths of women in deciding they're not going to have kids, oh shit. That's not good as a society. I mean, y'all understand how this works, Professor Moon. You already know it, Rem. You know what I'm saying? Like, our entire civilization is built on generations, right? Because the younger help support the older and the older pass on the wisdom to the younger in tradition. That's how it's supposed to be. We've gotten away from that, but that's how it's supposed to be. But if there's not enough young people and as older people die off, it's going to be crazy. It can't sustain itself. Social Security already on the brink of collapsing is definitely going to collapse. It's going to be crazy. I'm willing to have 5 kids, bro. I'm in my 30s and I still ain't got none, bro. You can do it. Once you have the ones you want, just get that shit snipped, though. Another reason too, though, is here's another reason why I tell guys to get snipped. It's all especially if you're with someone and you're like, you both, you and your wife, your partner are like, yo, we're good. We have the amount of kids. It's a 30 to 40 minute operation for you to go get snipped versus her to go get her tubes tied. And it's far more dangerous for a woman to get. So from a health perspective, women put their bodies at more risk when they go through those kind of procedures than it ever is for a man. So I think for that aspect, you know what I mean, more men should do it. It's fucking, it's an outpatient treatment, bro. They snip and it's done. I'll tell my story next week of my experience. It was kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's a very obviously sensitive, because I mean, listen, all of us guys are very fond of our dick and balls and our balls, right? We're very fond of our balls. So I know the idea, as I say, get snipped. Y'all like, huh, you reach down and you clutch your balls. I get it. I was there before I had mine done. But once it's done, it's like, oh no, it's the best thing ever. Do you know how free of a feeling I have to just bust wherever I want to bust and never have to worry about, oh shit. Oh shit. You know what I mean? Those of you that have been in a situation know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the best feeling, bro. You just lay up in it and just unleash it all without any worry. You know, it's a microscopic chance that something could happen. There are instances where people can have conceived even though the man has been snipped, but it's like very small, very, very negligible. You know what I mean? A ribbed condom feels good. I never liked those ribbed condoms. Or she could after the last baby. Yeah, that's true too, G's. I mean, when you have that last baby, since they're already in there, they can kind of do it right then and there. But it's still more work to do and things can go wrong. It's vastly easier for men to get snipped. It is very easy. And they're even advanced to the point with these vasectomies now where they can just laser it and do it. Like, I don't even have the scars on my shit anymore. They're gone. Like it's such a little cut they make and they go in and they just do their thing. It's crazy how they do it. But yeah, you still got to worry about if she's clean. Right. Getting a vasectomy doesn't alleviate the whole STD thing. But I'm not even factoring that into the equation. I'm just thinking about like pregnancies and all this stuff. You should, of course, take precautions for that. You know what I mean? You'd still pull out. I ain't gonna lie. After my shit had like healed and I was able to go do it. No, okay. So look, when you get a vasectomy, you have to go like 6 weeks later to go give a sample so they can test it to make sure that like it worked, right? They test your semen to make sure there's no sperm in it, whatever. So when I went to go drop the load off, well, I had to go to the facility. I have to go into a room. I should be telling the story next week. I don't want to tell all of it, but let's just say I was super nervous because I'm like, yo, this is the first time I'm about to touch my shit and bust a nut. I don't know what to expect. You know, does it feel the same? Is it gonna da-da-da? Anyway, I'll tell you the rest of that story next week. Panama Joe, what's up, bro? Yeah, you're right though. Just a thought. No, that's a fair point. And some women will do that after their last baby. They'll just have it done right there since they're in the hospital and all that stuff. Being snipped takes care of that decade limp dicky. What? What are you talking about? I tied my tubes and my menstrual pain got 1,000 times worse. Ooh. Yeah, see? Bust blood? Nah. Thankfully, everything worked out perfectly. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I even noticed a difference after the vasectomy. I don't know if it's in my head. I just feel like the blood be flowing a lot better. And you guys know how important the blood flow is to your dick. Like that's the difference between like this guy like this and that motherfucker be like, bow. You know what I mean? When you get that good blood flow, it could be because I also made a lot of eating changes and was more active in working out and, you know, probably a combination of that, but something about after it was done, shit changed. Watch out for the STDs. Absolutely. Show and tell time? What do you mean? You want that premium. Yeah, wow. So it's just different, man. It's just different. Anyway, you see how we get real personal with it? It's like we family, man. We like family. All right, let me check something out real quick. I want to see if we got an update on that Kai situation. We talked about it early in the stream. I got a lot of videos. By the way, if you missed anything with the stream, y'all, it always goes on my stream highlight channel on YouTube, which is djmoondawglive. So it's my name. Just add the live at the end of it. And if you missed anything, you can watch the lives there. They're all archived there. You can watch the full lives start to finish, or I put up the highlights from each individual stream over topics we talk about. So you can just watch the little excerpts, whatever works for you. When you're in your car drive or you're bored or whatever, you can always check them all out. youtube.com/djmoondawglive. Just so y'all know. Oh, we got an update. Let's take a look. I want to see what this happens here. Let's flip over real quick. All right, let's take a look here and see what they had to say.
Just some time to push them out. Some were arrested for a variety of different charges, but it just
Audio sucks, by the way. Why is it like one channel?
a lot of patience by the men and women of this department.
All right, Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11. Chief, are you going to charge Kai Cenat?
Yes, the influencer is charged. He's going to be charged with multiple counts, at least 2 counts of inciting a riot, unlawful assembly, and a few other charges.
Holly Hair, 10-10 wins.
Wow, damn. So they are gonna make an example of him. They're gonna make. I kind of expected that. They're gonna make an example out of him. Damn. Well, you got to learn how to move as a celebrity, man. You can't, like I said earlier in the video when we talked about that, when we started the stream, you just can't do that, man. You can't move that way. Crazy. What's up, C's? What happened and why? Yeah, I talked about it early in the stream. Just real quick to recap, Kai Cenat went out there to go do a meet and greet, and it turned into complete riots and chaos. I think they're going to charge him with stuff. I don't think a lot of this is going to stick, though. You know, inciting a riot, he's not, how is he responsible? He just showed up. He simply said, hey, let's meet here. I think his lawyers are going to fight that one. I don't know that it's going to stick. I'm really interested in how this is going to play out now. Really interested in how this is going to play out. So he did it on purpose. He did. So no, look, he did say, he did make it public. I'm going to be here doing the giveaway. Sure. But I don't know that he could be responsible for the violence. You know, inciting violence typically means you are actively trying to agitate or directing mobs of people to do something violent. There was nothing in here that he was doing to, hey, y'all go beat up this and go do this. He just showed up. The crowds on their own just turned into whatever it was. So I don't know that one would stick. I mean, I think a good lawyer could maybe fight that one off. Like, look, he didn't do anything to incite it. He showed up with good intentions. The crowds took on a life of their own, you know? So yeah, I'm really curious. I knew they're going to charge him with something, but. Interesting. He did it on purpose. Yeah, he did. I mean, the only thing he did on purpose was have a meet and greet. He wanted to do a meet and greet. So, I mean, yeah, that part. How was your day, Moon? Anything exciting? What did we do? We went to the gym today. We did triceps today. Arms are getting thick. They're getting real thick now. That show. They're getting thick. I can't even really flex it. My biceps are so sore from Wednesday's workout. They are so sore. And triceps Monday will be legs, which I hate because lunges suck, but we'll do legs. And then yeah, you know, it's out here working, man. Koos, what's up, man? Yeah, you really can't control all this. That's where I think the argument's gonna be made. No permit gathering, fine, I bet. I think that could probably be a thing. Yeah. Push up. I need a break, bro. Come lift me up with those arms, Moon. Oh shit. All right, look. IG fam, I'm gonna kill the IG stream. We're gonna keep it over on Kick. If you want to come through, keep hanging out. I promise you're gonna have a good time. There's a lot of ladies in the Kick chat, and when I go do the after hours, they get real active and start. They're already starting to misbehave a little bit. Coming over to kick.com, djmoondawglive. I've pinned the info in the IG comments. So you can come through. You can download the apps in the App Store. KICK, like you would kick a ball. And then search DJ MoonDawg Live. Come follow your boy. Join us over there. If not, have a great, wonderful weekend. Enjoy the reel that I posted up right now. It looks like it's going to go viral already. It's already booming on TikTok and Instagram. It's picking up momentum. It's a good one. Check it out. Like it. Share it with a friend. Send it to their DMs. And have a great weekend, man. We'll be back Monday for our streams. And I look forward to seeing y'all over there as well. With that being said, I'll see y'all later. Much love, IG. And we're also going to kill the YouTube stream. So if you're on YouTube as well, come on over to kick.com. DJ MoonDawg Live is where we're at. As I said, once again, follow your boy and all that stuff. We should be good. All right. We're just clearing up our stuff. Ending. Cool.